Well, it's morning. We got some good sleep last night. We're drinking a lot of coffee this morning.
No denying.
Breakfast is included with your night stay here, so that's good. They come with like a delicious omelet. And we're sitting right by the beach. It's beautiful.
Sky may be gray. There might be rain.
It was a really good trip. It was a challenge that we had to push ourselves because we were not used to walking that much up and down mountains.
Yeah, I don't think either of us have ever walked that far before.
No.
Ever.
But we pushed ourselves and we made it. And at the end, it's so worth it because you see things that you would never see otherwise.
Yeah. I think you can see a country driving through it or flying over it, but you have to, if you want to experience it, I think you really have to walk.
Yeah.
And see and learn and smell and
hear and talk to people.
Yeah, we talked to a lot of people hiking down the mountain. It was fun. Our legs and our feet are very sore this morning, but they'll rest and recover, and the experiences and the memories and the things we saw will live with us forever.
Yeah. And we get to share them with you, which is even better, which is the best part. You get to experience the same adventures we go through our lenses. And that makes it extra special for us.
So we're going to finish our coffee and hang out on the beach for a little while and then catch a bus back to Port-au-Prince.
Cheers.
I wonder why you let me be this cold sweat. I surely doesn't let you.
We were really sore after that long weekend of hiking, so we took some time to stretch out and do a little bit of beach yoga.
The entire weekend when we were at Suge, every time we had to cross a river, we remembered to take off our shoes and cross barefoot. And the very last crossing we did before we got to the hotel, we forgot, I guess, to take off our shoes, so we just crossed the river, and now they're soaking wet. And because we're smart, we didn't put them outside last night to dry, and now they are still wet and steamy and hot, and it's gonna be interesting to put them on. It's so muddy. Look.
I'm still dreaming, falling deeper within. This love is enough.
So this is basically what we did. We started at Port-au-Prince, drove to Pétionville and Kiscoff. From here there were kind of ends. So we walked to Seguin, with La Visite, walked down to Marigot, and then from Marigot took the Tap Tap to Jacquemin. And now we're going to take the bus back up this road through Bessières, Corfu, and back to Port-au-Prince. A big circle. The circle of life. Bonjour. What couple de moon?
Oui.
Ok, nous parlons de station bus là. Avec valise devant.
It turns out that the hotel was a little bit further from the bus station than we originally thought. So, the quickest way to get there was to take a $2 ride on a taxi moto. We got to the station an hour early, but luckily they sell beers. So we gladly sipped on a cold one while we waited for the bus.
Merci.
For a little less than $4 each, we got our one-way tickets back. 2 hours later, we arrived in Port-au-Prince, exhausted, but extremely grateful that we were able to take on a trip like this. We waited for a friend to pick us up for the very last leg of this adventure, the short car ride back to my parents' house. We went back to our boat soon after and invited a few family members for a little day sail aboard Uma. They didn't believe us when we explained that it takes about half an hour just to get the boat ready. So, since they really wanted to go sailing, what are we doing today, Nico?
We're going sailing.
The condition was that they would get Uma ready.
This is sick.
I never thought there would be this much chain under the boat.
Yep.
L'enfant.
Yep.
50 feet, but
Yep.
I pulled like how many feet did I pull already?
About 150.
3, 2, 1.
So how was it?
A lot more than I expected. I didn't think there would be like 150 feet of chain.
See how sailing is a workout now?
It is a workout. Different kind of workout, but still a workout.
After we raised anchor, we hoisted the sails and went out for the day. There wasn't very much wind, but it was just enough to keep the sails from luffing and enjoy a nice, relaxing afternoon of sailing.
Yeah, so now we're back in like.
It just goes down. Same way as a shoal. The first time I went, not the first time, one of the time I went sailing, I went to Pestel, close to Jérémy. And the one good thing was we were going out and we set up the engine so we could set up the sails. And as soon as everything was set up, we turned off the engine and you could hear.
You're like, and the vibration.
Everything stopped.
So the boys decided to take a little dip in the water.
I'm just here making sure that they don't fall back too much. How was that?
That was fun.
We're just pointing at that green wall, roughly.
The morning after the rain was the calmest it's ever been around here. The water was perfectly flat and as clear as glass. But this also happened. Yup, the rain from the night before pretty much sank poor little Dory and submerged our motor along with it. With a little helping hand, we got the water out and quickly took her to shore.
I never thought they would let me in.
Well, a lot of you keep asking if we like our porta boat, and we keep saying yes, and we still hold true to that. But there's a minor design flaw that they've fixed in the newer one, so if you buy a new porta boat, it won't happen. That design flaw is that the transom is held on by 4 little bolts, and unless they're properly sealed, they can leak if they get underwater. And normally that's not a problem because naturally they're out of the water. Even with the motor, people in it, they're usually out of the water. But when there gets a little bit of rain in there, like last night when it was pouring rain for hours and hours and hours, it got enough water in the back that the whole dinghy kind of like tipped back and put those bolts underwater. And we have little rubber washes on them to protect them from leaking, but one of them failed. And so this morning we woke up to our dinghy being pretty much underwater. So we're rowing to shore to take apart our motor and see if it's still fine, because it was pretty much underwater. And after that, we're going to be gluing those bolts in place so that they won't leak again. But like I said, this is an older model porta boat, and they've actually fixed that with the newer models. So we still hold that we like it. It's just a minor little flaw that could have been disastrous. However, the transom in the seats and this little black stuff along the side of the dinghy technically mean it will float, and it worked. It was completely underwater, but it was still floating, even with our engine and the gas in it. So it didn't sink technically, but it could have, I suppose. So yeah, now we're gonna go pull apart our engine again and fix it again. Stay tuned.
To feel a little lonely is a stay. Do you feel our love is the only thing that is real? It's like a heart with nothing to conceal, nothing more. Listen.
It turns out Richard is a pretty good mechanic. This was not the first motor he'd recovered from a salt bath.
Summer turned into fall.
He and Dan gave the motor a thorough freshwater bath along with a carburetor clean. lubricated everything, and then left it out to dry. That afternoon, they put everything back together and started it up.
Fading like a distant call. Do not remember those days at all.
She seems to run just fine. Thanks Kisha for saving our motor.
Listen through. So let me be the one to hold you. Do you feel our love is the only thing that is
This way, so you can.
It's like a heart with nothing to conceal.
Looks like we may have actually saved the motor. Thanks to the help of Richard, and pulled it apart and flushed it with water and dried it out, cleaned the carb, and it seems to work okay. So hopefully it won't corrode anymore in the future.
Or sink.
Or sink again.
Hey Dan, I have an announcement to make.
Yeah? What's that?
Can you video?
Hang on. Alright.
I have an announcement to make. Oh, I said that before. So, today I had at least 4 or 5 cups of coffee. And
Haitian coffee.
Haitian coffee, which is like 5 times more than American regular coffee. And I am all happy tonight. And so tonight was karaoke night. I've been singing and dancing along. If you want to see me dance and sing, make sure you go find our treasure on our website. Find a little guide with the little treasure box and somewhere hidden in our website. And if you find him, you can find me sing very embarrassingly and dance very embarrassingly, but it's fun, so treasure time! Woohoo!
Go.